Chapter 5 is officially more popular than OG Fortnite, and this has surprised a lot of people. Last season during OG Fortnite, when we got a new player record of 6.6 million, a lot of people said this is it, Fortnite should stick to OG Fortnite forever. It is clearly the most popular it's ever gonna be. But in the last 24 hours, Fortnite has registered a new peak player record at 7.6 million players. Now, I know what you're thinking. Obviously, this is because we have the Lego game mode, the rocket racing, and we have the new festival launching today, but you can't discount that. That still means there was 7.6 million people playing Chapter 5. That's more than OG Fortnite. Whether they're on Lego, in the Battle Royale, in Creative, they're still playing Fortnite. This proves what Epic has been building towards, and it turns out Donald Mustard tweeted out today, pointing to the fact they've been building towards this since 2017. And I'll be the first to admit it, there's a lot of points in Fortnite's history of me making content on the game. I've questioned the direction of the game. I've questioned what Epic Games is doing. Even when they dropped UEFN, they started putting all this effort into Creative. I didn't see the vision, but I have to admit, I see it now. Fortnite is a game that now can officially basically never die. With all these other experiences you can jump on and play for free, Fortnite will be around in some capacity forever. The ability Fortnite has to just never fall off is amazing. There's no other game that's doing it like this. Like maybe Minecraft, but again, a lot of Minecraft is being carried by other people making mods to keep Minecraft fresh, where Fortnite is themselves doing it. The Lego game mode is absolutely exploding. A lot of people saying, again, it's similar to Minecraft, but honestly, the fact that it's a free-to-play experience you can play on any device, jump in with your friends and enjoy is just ridiculous. And Fortnite saw this coming. Like I said, Donald Mustard has been planning this since 2017. It's worth pointing out the player base isn't doing poor in Battle Royale by any means as well. Obviously, it's not as big as OG Fortnite. That brought so many players back, but for a brand new chapter that was, in my opinion, super ambitious, they have changed a lot. It's doing extremely well. If you check the player count at any peak time, it's sitting around 2 million people just on the Battle Royale and no builds and builds, ranked and no rank. So it's still doing extremely well, even outside of all these extra game modes that are absolutely popping off. There are obviously still some complaints about Chapter 5, people saying the attachments are too confusing. I think when they add augments into the mix, that is really going to make those players struggle a lot. People still complaining about the movement, but honestly, the first change they made to the movement has already made a big difference, and it looks like they're going to be making significant changes to that over the next few weeks. So I honestly think it's fair to say that Chapter 5 across the board is a massive success. It's the most fun I've had on a season in a really long time. One of the main reasons I have been enjoying this season so much, and I have to admit it, is competitive. Competitive is finally back, and it's actually working. The solo victory cups are actually working, kind of, and the duo cash cups are actually working, kind of. I say kind of because there has been a bug where players aren't getting the points for the island, which does suck. Giving points for mid-match objectives has been something Epic has been struggling with for a while now. Also, on EU this morning in the duo cash cup, they did also have issues with players just not getting points for their games entirely, which does really suck. I don't want to say it doesn't suck, but looking for the positive here, Epic turned around, made a tweet acknowledging it, apologizing. They said they'd already fixed it, and then it didn't happen during NA. So I really feel for the players affected by this, but I do have to give credit to Epic that they are communicating and fixing problems way faster than OG Fortnite. We had like 2 of, I think, like 10 solo victory cups during OG Fortnite actually work. Meanwhile, any issue that's happening with tournaments right now, they are fixing pretty much as quick as they can, and they're communicating it. So again, it sucks that there was an issue whatsoever, but there are always going to be some kind of issues with tournaments, and Epic's turning around, responding, and fixing them really well. As far as the actual tournaments, we have a lot to talk about. Talking about the duo cash cups on EU, we had Mongraal qualifying for the finals alongside Savage. They came 28th in the opens on the back of a really good last game clutch from Mongraal. This wasn't just Savage dragging Mongraal across the line. They played really well. They streamed all of it, and it was amazing to see them back. And then they didn't just bomb out in the finals. Mongraal and Savage went on to come 15th place in the finals. This was on the back of an insane clutch from Mr. Savage, a 5 elim second when Mongraal went down early in the second last game. But I have to say, in Mongraal's defense, it wasn't his fault. They went to grapple, he just got absolutely beamed, didn't freak out, didn't panic, dropped Savage the loot, and trusted him. It was really great to see Savage and Mongraal competing, especially Mongraal back again, but it wasn't what I'm used to for Mongraal, and I love that. It wasn't him just screaming and yelling, all bravado and confidence, which is fun to watch. He was honestly focused up and taking it really seriously, listening to Mr. Savage and respecting the fact that he's now the more experienced player, and it was great to watch. A lot of people saying Mongraal and Savage should queue up together for FNCS. The viewership would be insane, the content would be insane, but I don't think that's probably going to happen. It looks like Mr. Savage does want to play FNCS with a more regular duo, but Mongraal could easily find a really solid duo who wants to play with him and wants to have that massive boost in content they can both make from this. The numbers were insane and the vibes are really high. This is the first time Mongraal has now earned in a tournament in over 2 years, and he was well and truly back. He was playing really well. I do want to talk a bit more about the duo cash cards, but I want to talk about another ridiculous performance, one of the most impressive I have ever seen. Peterbot dropping a 37 kill win in the NA Solo Victory Cup finals. Even a 37 kill in opens would be absolutely ridiculous, but he did it in finals. I have never seen a game like this. We've seen, Reed, Bugha, G-Money, Polarized dropping 20 bombs, but a 37 kill win. I went into replay and watched it because Peterbot, being Peterbot, didn't stream it or record it, so it was the only way to watch it, and you would have thought you were watching a cheater with the timeline. You brought up the timeline, and it was just littered with eliminations. Literally from the second he landed to that game ending, he was fighting the entire time. I put a video up of it on my React Antics channel. If you want to go check it out after this, I would highly recommend it. It was just insane. That was one of the best games of Fortnite I have ever watched. Speaking of the duo cash cups, I want to talk about some of the old duos who are still doing really well and some of the new duos. A lot of people asking, who's Bugha now playing with? Is Clix and Whale back together? Who's Bucky's new duo? What's going on with Queasy and Veno? Gonna answer all these questions now, because as far as we can know from the duo cash cup, now that duo FNCS has been announced, I imagine most of these duos are gonna be the actual duos going into FNCS. Of course, teams were messing around at the end of last season. If this was just a throwaway duo cash cup, they might mess around, play with new people, but FNCS is coming around in a little over a month, and I think these duos are locking in. So we saw new teams like Veno and Tayson unfortunately struggle to make the finals, but we saw some other returning duos like Mustache and Malabuka come second place on EU on 286 points, just behind Nefrizzi and Howley. We had Lyzen and Sato, the Frenchies, in third place, doing really well. Seti and Cammy, obviously a staple, popping off in 7th place. I already talked about Mongraal and Savage finishing in 15th place. We did have Queasy and Thomas HD pairing up in 23rd. Not really the performance they were looking for, but not a terrible tournament with Head Snipes in the game right now. Honestly, it's really hard to find that consistency. When we look at teams like Clix and Epic Whale, who struggled over on NA, they went down to Head Snipes 2 games in a row, and that pretty much cost them most of their tournament. But over on NA, we did see the return of some insane duos who dominated throughout all of Chapter 4. Acorn and Cold still going strong together, winning the first NA Duo Cash Cup. Yomzo and Rise, no surprise to see them up there in second as well. We had Dukes and Threat, a brand new duo after Bugha and Threat split up. Dukes and Edgy, the FNCS winners in Chapter 4, also choosing to split up. Really good looks for Dukes and Threats. At one point in the Duo Cash Cup Opens, they had a KD of 97. They won 4 of their first 5 games, and you'd probably expect me to say they won the Opens, but of course Peterbot and Poyo ran it up and dropped ridiculous games, and they beat them out for the top spot. They ended up finishing in 7th place in the finals as well. Bucky and Cam, I feel like people count Bucky out all the time. He makes a bunch of jokes, he goofs off, he seems to disappear and come back, and then he always seems to get back on form really quickly. Bucky and Cam were actually in 1st place going into the last few games. Unfortunately, 2 of their last 3 games weren't too hot and they jumped down to 5th. Cooper and Mero confirming the global champs are still together. Mero always does this. He'll win even the biggest tournament in the world, stop playing, and then just come back and start dominating again. That's exactly what they did in 4th place. I already talked about Clix and Epic Whale in 15th place as well, same as Savage and Mongraal. So, big content names finishing around the same spot. We had Asian Jeff and Oliver OG. Now, I know, if you've been following competitive Fortnite at all, Asian Jeff and Oliver OG are like the toxic couple. They just always seem to split, hate on each other, get back together, but when they're together, they play their best Fortnite. Asian Jeff and Oliver OG always plays the best when they're together. They not only made finals, which neither of these players have been doing a bunch in the last few seasons, they came 16th, which is awesome. Again, Asian Jeff on his absolute astronomical content blow up right now. That's kind of going over to Oliver OG now. They were both popping off in numbers, playing really well, and it was awesome to see. And again, it wasn't all just Asian Jeff memeing. When they went down a few times due to mistakes, they both had a good conversation, who messed up, acknowledged it, moved on, and improved. So I have high hopes for this duo. It'd be really awesome to see them keep playing together. We did see Bugha now picking up his new teammate Aviv. We don't know whether this is locked in for FNCS. Now that Bugha says he wants to make content, he's been streaming 10-12 hours a day, streaming every single tournament, and it's paying off. The content numbers are amazing. Unfortunately, they didn't place as well as a lot of people would have hoped. 9th place, not bad by any means, but not really that top 3 people are expecting from Bugha. Make sure you guys check out my other YouTube channels as well. My solo Cash Cup highlights are going up every single week on Extra Antics. Like I said, I'm reacting to all the crazy games and tournaments on my React channel. And of course, subscribe, stay tuned to my main channel videos. I'm going to start uploading here way more often. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you the next one.